Yo, what up, y'all? Listen, happy Monday. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Some of these moves look really good on paper, but fit matters more than just names. And now we get to finally see what happens when expectations meet reality. We got Angel Reese in Atlanta. We got Skylar Diggins in Chicago. We got Chennedy Carter in Vegas. Three big names, three completely different situations. And I don't think people are really looking at the pressure that comes with these long term moves because one of these fits can change a franchise, one can completely shift a team's identity, and one might not work out the way people expect at all. So tonight we're gonna break it down. We break it down the roster fit, chemistry, expectations, play style, and who actually put themselves in a position to win right now. Because in this league, no team is safe. So I need y'all in the chat early right now because some of y'all might disagree with me. That's absolutely fine. We might disagree with one another. That's absolutely fine. I need y'all to tell me right now, after the WNBA opening weekend, which fit is best. Welcome back to Her Core, Her Rules, the realest women's basketball breakdown on the net, and the only place where hoops meet higher perspective. Y'all know it's your girl, Najah Lee. This is episode 89, so while y'all here, man, take your shoes off, get comfortable, hit that like, hit that subscribe, hype this video up, tell the people where we at and where the conversation thrives, and let's get into this episode, man. Again, we on the road to 1,000 subscribers, so I appreciate everybody for pulling up with good energy, pulling up, supporting women's basketball, and pulling up to talk about what we talking about. And tonight, before my Cavaliers play, it's still always Cavs state of mind. Shout out to y'all. Okay. Before my Cavs tip off at 8:00, we're going to talk about the WNBA opening weekend, right? And we saw three big names that moved from teams, right? And we got to talk about how we feel the fit is on their new team, at their new destination, at their new home. Again, we have Angel Reese in Atlanta. We have Skylar Diggins in Chicago and Chennedy Carter in Vegas. Who won this offseason acquisition? I'm trying to tell y'all, get in the chat early. Welcome back. Passing through. What's going on? Peace and freedom to you. Atlanta won the offseason. Angel and Akat will elevate this team when it matters. I love that. I love that take right there, man. Did they not have one of the toughest wins this weekend? Now we can sit up here and talk about Dallas and talk about Indiana, but let's talk about a come from behind win. I did not think Atlanta was going to tough that win out and pull that win out on the road. I kind of expected, we talked about Dallas and Indiana. I expected Dallas to do that in the very tight game. I thought Dallas was going to win on the road, but I did not think Atlanta was going to win on the road, even without Nafisa. So shout out to you. Shout out to your observation. Again, keep putting your input in the chat because we can have this conversation live. Again, Atlanta, boy, did they show us a couple things. We know Alicia Gray had 24 points in her opening, right? But we know the topic of the conversation right now is Angel Reese, right? And how she fits with this Atlanta team. Let's talk about it. First and foremost, Angel Reese, again, double-double. Is she not a walking double-double or what? I mean, can we just call Angel double-double Reese? Can we just call her that? AR5 double-double. Bop, bop. That's what she coming with each and every time. Let me pull up the box score real quick. Hold on. Let me pull up the box score real quick because Angel Reese had a kind of up and down game, right? She finished the game a lot stronger than she started the game. This is what we know. We do not have to debate that, right? She had 11 points this game in her one game in Atlanta, right? They started the season 1-0. Shout out to Atlanta Dream. Do it for the dream, right? And they won that game on a roll. Let me try to get back to this these scores. Hold on. Boom, boom, boom. Scores. What was that game on Saturday? Let me pull this box score up. Hold on. Got it. Boom. Got it. All right, box score. So again, when you look at the stats can kind of tell you a lie a little bit. When you look at the stats, they don't really jump out at you. You know what I'm saying? 11 points, 14 boards. You know, when you 12 and 12 is about what you expect from Angel Reese. So if you're just looking at the stats, right, and you see a big 5 turnovers there, but guess what? She got it all back, 2 steals and 3 blocks on top of that. So shout out to her. What's important though about this and what we're talking about tonight is first impressions on Angel Reese in this Atlanta offense. We know what she's going to bring on defense, but what's the first impression that y'all have with Angel Reese with this Atlanta offense? Okay, for me as a viewer, I think that there are, I'm gonna jump around here. I think that there's some spacing concerns that I kind of want to highlight, right? If y'all disagree, let me know. Let me know if y'all disagree. I'm watching the game, right? And I'm still seeing Angel Reese kind of like navigating this 3-point line area, right? I don't know why. I would think that when Bree Jones is back, a lot will change with what this offense looks like. But also when Bree Jones is back, one would think that you would want to give Bree Jones a little bit more space to operate. So you would probably want to tuck Angel somewhere closer to that 3-point line area, but not at the start of the season. But what I'm seeing though with Atlanta, right, is how she's fitting into the offense based on what the coach is doing. The coach looks like he wants to play one big, 4 guards, right? Sometimes we saw a double big a little bit with Angel and Okot on the court at the same time, but a lot of the game we saw one big, 4 guards, right? A lot of spacing. What does that do? That adds to the pace. This coach in Atlanta wants to run. He wants to get out into the open floor, and he wants his guards to have a lot of operating room to move from side to side, right? So he's starting Canada. We know Alicia Gray. Let's talk about Alicia Gray for a minute. Alicia Gray probably will be in maybe top 3, top 4 in MVP conversation this year. I think that Alicia Gray is just that important. I think she's more important. It's proven at this point that she's more important to the overall success of Atlanta than Ryan Howard. And we all know it didn't start off that way. It didn't start off with it being kind of Gray's team. It kind of started off it being Howard's team, and then Howard got injured, and then Gray had to elevate and rise to the occasion and rise to the moment and show the world that not only can I lead this team offensively, but defensively, I'm kind of like that too, right? And she proved herself again at the end of the game. Okay, so did Angel Reese. Now, there's a culture fit here that I think that she is. It's like a perfect puzzle piece with Angel Reese in Atlanta, right? I don't think that there's any bumps when it comes to culture. I think overall Atlanta plays hard. They are an aggressive team. That's who she is, right? That's just who she is. Her baseline, bottom line, what she brings to the game is hard play and aggressiveness, right? Tenacity, right? She's always going to be active. And that's one thing that you love to see from Angel Reese. And that translates perfectly with Atlanta. Okay? Perfectly. The questions that I have though after just one game, because right now there is not a veteran post player in this Atlanta team right now, a veteran big right now, because Bree Jones is injured. She's not gonna be practicing and going through reps with them, right? She's gonna be out for quite some time. Where in May when is she due back? Hold on, Bree Jones injury status. I think she's due back in July, or we don't know. She's out indefinitely after undergoing surgery on her right knee. So we technically don't know. That surgery was in February. We don't really know when this surgery when she's gonna be fully healed. So I can't really speculate. I have no idea about how long a torn meniscus timetable. Let me see, timetable to return. A torn meniscus is usually per Dr. Google, is 4 to 8 weeks for non-surgery. She had surgery, while sometimes full repairs can take 3 to 6 months. So is she gonna be out the whole season, or she's gonna come back close to playoffs, or maybe get some tick right before playoff start? I don't know. But what we do know is not having not having a veteran post player in Atlanta right now. I think that that's going to be the biggest hindrance for them. You have Angel Reese, okay, who offensively wouldn't be my go-to in a post. And then you have a rookie, okay? And we love Okai, right? Shout out to Gamecocks Nation. We love Okai. I don't want to really poke at her game right now. She's still green. She didn't really start even playing basketball till late in her career. So I think she is on the right pace for her career right now. Okay. What I do want to say though, and kind of tie this up when it comes to not having that leadership, is that the highlight for Angel Reese coming into Atlanta at the beginning of this big trade news was that it's going to be her with Bree Jones, right? And Bree Jones can kind of cover Angel Reese in areas offensively that Okai can't do, right? So Bree Jones can make it super easy for Angel Reese offensively from that big position to not just show her the right way, especially when it comes to footwork, but also lead by example. And she can kind of take her under her wing and say, hey, you know what I mean? You don't need Lisa Leslie, baby girl, to train you. You got me. I got you. Don't worry about it. You're going to be practicing against me every day. You're going to learn something. Okay. Tighten up, buckle up. We going for a ride. Not having Bree Jones, and again, while y'all here, welcome back to Her Core, Her Rules. We do this every Monday and Friday at 6 p.m. You know what I'm saying? I'm repping for my Cavs. We go Cavs play at 8 o'clock, game 4. So we turned up on that. But right now, we're talking about women's basketball, and I'm excited to see Angel Reese and how she continues to grow and blossom in this offense, because that's always the biggest concern. It's never the concern about defense. It's never the concern about rebounds, as we saw, okay, in the opener, WNBA opener weekend with Angel Reese against, well, not just Angel Reese, Atlanta Dream featuring Angel Reese against Minnesota Lynx on the road. She and the Minnesota Lynx, I think, may be a little bit better than I initially said that they were going to be. I think Minnesota Lynx are they're well coached. Obviously, one of the best coaches in WNBA history in Cheryl Reeves. But I think they definitely still need a big. Laura knows they still need a big. Natasha Howard's not going to get the job done fully for the whole season, so they still definitely need a big. But based on what I'm seeing, though, when you talk about Atlanta not having that veteran poised offensive big in this offense to start this season, I think is going to put more pressure on Angel than what we expected coming into this season, when we thought it was going to be her and Bree Jones together collectively on the court. And I think that might be the hindrance, because what we saw in the first half of this game, we saw her struggle a little bit offensively. And that's okay, right? It's the first half, right? The first game of the season. She was 4 for 11. She went 4 for 11 overall this game. We saw her blow a lot of easy bunnies, right? Had me about to pull out a locker. I said, Lord, she's stressful. However, we did not see her take any 3-point shots, and that's what I was concerned with, because her offense in this game, the way they spread out the floor, they have one person kind of trying to attack the paint with 4 other outlets. And I thought that her starting off a little bit slow, starting off a little bit rusty, I thought that she would fall into the trap of shooting threes. And that's not what again, she didn't shoot any threes, and that's exactly what I want to see from Angel Reese. If you can't make easy layups, I don't need you taking the hardest shot in the basketball game, which is threes, right? Even a wide open three is difficult for a big who's missing and blowing layups, right? But again, this is not to attack. This has nothing to do with the missed opportunities. This does have everything to do with the overall fit and how we see her growing with this team, especially when this team becomes healthy, right? They also who that? They also did not they just also kind of look a little disheveled in the first half, right? They was kind of getting smoked. They was getting ran down, right? Defensively, especially when it came to guard play, guard defensively, it just was not clicking in the beginning, right? Powell wasn't shooting well, wasn't her in Canada was not having a great time with checking Olivia Miles and or Courtney Williams. I mean, it seemed that Courtney Williams and Miles was getting whatever shot, whatever look they wanted to get, which means what? You put more pressure on your bigs when your guards can't stop penetration, can't stop at the point of attack, which is 3-point line, right? So if ever Olivia Miles decides to say I'm gonna become a 3-point shooter for real, she only took 2 threes. Whenever she gets into that bag where she decides to really take threes, the league is going to be a problem because she's getting into the paint when at will, right? Not only for her own shot, but to create incredible looks, incredible opportunities for others. Not Angel's best performance. She has to work on the turnovers and missed layups, but I'm not worried about the absence of Bree Jones into the playoffs. And see, and it's not about technically being worried about the absence of her, but her not being there, I think slows the growth of Angel offensively. We just talking about offensively. There are a couple things that I'm still noticing about with Angel when it comes to her confidence in elevating just for the layup. Like she, for some reason, um, and listen, this is no shade, but Angel Reese sometimes plays like she has 2 bad knees and she just doesn't want to jump, right? And so she had the incredible Euro through the lane, started on the left hand side, Euro to the right, finished, right? Perfect. I said great. Now, when you got the seal, okay, and you just trying to do a simple drop step, it's just those feet just won't come up off the ground. And I'm like, if she just jumped, if she just went up with a little bit more power and a little bit more assertiveness, I think she will have a better outcome when it comes to finishing those layups. But because she's trying to scoop the layup or like guide the layup with her, it's something about that her attempts, right? Go up strong, you feel me? Go up just as strong as you would as you would do if you were going up to block a shot or going up to grab a rebound. I see her getting up off the ground when she going to grab a board, but when it comes to finishing at the basket, she doesn't jump with the same amount of intensity and purpose, right, that she does when it comes to defensive rebounding. So I think that would improve a lot quicker if you have a veteran scoring big next to her, like a Bree Jones or even a BG, if BG was still here. But BG doing she living her best life in Connecticut. So there's that. Welcome back to Her Core, Her Rules, Truth Teller, peace and freedom to you. Let's go. We play Atlanta tomorrow. What's that little emoji right there? Hold on. Wings, Dallas Wings. Okay, that's a Wings. Yeah. Oh yeah, y'all do. Hold on. Let me go back. Let me go back to the scores. Tomorrow is Tuesday. Okay, Wings and Dream tomorrow. That's going to be very interesting. She has a metal rod in her leg. Okay, so thanks for telling me that. Shout out to you, DH Divine One. Welcome to Her Core, Her Rules. Peace and freedom to you. So that's new news to me. So that makes a lot of sense then, because she goes up gingerly, right? She goes up like a person who has suffered a significant injury. And I didn't want to say that, but apparently it's something there, right? So that means now we need to introduce the finesse. And that's why I think the lack of Bree Jones, because Bree Jones is not the most athletic big in the world. Now, this is what we know. But when it comes to scoring, when it comes to using her size to her advantage, when it comes to using her quickness to her advantage, you can be quick and not fast. So Bree Jones has a level of quickness that Angel shows us in spurts. I think that this system that she's in, because it's such a perfect cultural fit, right? I think that by game 15, 17, 20, I think there's going to be a switch when it comes to her confidence. I think there is a struggle when it comes to offensive confidence with Angel Reese, and you can kind of tell she was beating herself up after the blown layups in the first half, right? She was beating herself up, and then she hit us with the Euro, and I said, well, damn. Well, see if she got that. Now, baby girl, you can't show me the Euro between the two defenders and finishing at the basket. You can't show me that. Because once you show me that, I gotta hold you to that now. Because now I believe, oh yeah, you definitely got something there. But because you are in a terrible trash organization with a terrible trash system with an awful coach, right? It will reduce your self-confidence and your belief in your own innate abilities. And we know she got it. She just got to unlock it. And I think this year, with this coach, with this system, with these powerful, strong guards that can not only cover her offensively but assist defensively as well. Listen, she wasn't playing with a bunch of defensive minded guards over there that can also score with Chicago. She had Ariel Atkins, and yeah, Ariel Atkins can play defense. Okay, but she ain't known for lighting them up, right? Rachel Bannum can light them up, but Rachel Bannum was playing out of position, and she ain't really known for the defense. So it was just a lot. They had Rebecca Allen, and Kia Nurse, and a bunch of, you know what I mean? And no shade to those ladies. Shout out to them. Nice gowns. Again, rest in peace, Aretha Franklin. However, come on now. Yeah, Angel used to play different before she got that ride. I think she got it in high school. Okay, so what you're telling me is that since we've known Angel from Maryland to LSU to Chicago to now, even included in Rival, she's had this ride. Okay, great. So that's good. That's good to know. Also, what I do know is that let's go back to LSU for a little bit, because I ain't gonna, Maryland was a little bit too long ago. Let's go back to LSU a little bit. Her game wasn't properly developed in LSU, and you could blame it on the coach. That's a coaching error right there. The coach utilized her for what she does best naturally. That's energy, that's character on the court, that's leadership, right? That is rebounding, that's defense, that's tenacity. That's who she is naturally. But second nature is scoring. Now we see it there. But now she has to be in the system that's going to water that flower, right? You can plant something all day long, but if you don't take care of it, it's never going to grow and produce what you want it to produce. All that's going to happen is you're going to be looking at that plant like, damn, why this plant ain't doing nothing? Because you're not doing nothing with it, right? So she can still work on that finesse, like you said. And I think when you surround yourself around great guards, right? Not only do you have let's think about this. Angel Reese finally has a good point guard. Finally. I mean, we can take it. We will have to go back to her damn near her junior year in college. She finally has a good, I'm talking about really good. Jordan Canada is like that, right? She is really a prototype of a point guard. Now, that version of a point guard is kind of dying out a little bit, right? However, we still have a Roy Harmon, so it ain't dying out completely. So Jordan Canada can put her in spaces, can get into her ear and reinforce the offensive threat that we know Angel Reese can become, right? Jay Davis, welcome to Her Core, Her Rules. Peace and freedom to you. I'm glad you're saying this about Angel. I get hammered saying what you just said. I mean, and one thing about over here, we gonna call a spade and keep it a bean, right? I don't have nothing against none of these young ladies in the W. You know, I wish them all the greatest success, all 20-year careers. I want them all to be well, right? But one thing they know that they're not above just honest critique. And I ain't no hater, right? I'm not no hater. There are some people that's out there that have agendas, and they like to push narratives strictly on hate, strictly because they prefer one player over another. And what I like to say is yeah, she can get better here, and here's how. And here's how she can get better. And I think she's in a perfect system where she can get better. And I don't think it's going to take her an entire season to do it. I think she might need about 20 games. And about game 20, I think we're going to start to see the things that she was working on with Lisa Leslie, right? It ain't like we haven't seen her working on her game. She has been working on her game, but in live game actions, she goes away from the very thing that she's been practicing, right? She reverts back to the norm. She reverts back to the baseline, and we want to see her continue to stack and build upon the things that she's really working on, right? So obviously she's been working on the Euro because she pulled it out when she got pissed off enough, when she got mad at herself enough. She pulled it out, and then she showed, oh yeah, no, I got you. So maybe the beginning of the game, right? Maybe how we prepare for the game, that maybe needs to change. It's just a mindset thing, right? It's just a mindset. Basketball is all mental, and when you're playing out of thought and not playing out of feel, you get into your head. And we need Angel Reese to get into her bag. That's what we need. I heard Angel wears a leg sleeve to cover up her surgical scars, so that theory makes sense. Well, I ain't seen no scars when she was walking down that Victoria's Secret aisle. Okay, I didn't, but also I wasn't zoomed in on the screen. I know some of them creepers was like, oh, let me see what you got. No. I was watching from the big screen on the wall. So, so that would make sense. Let's talk about the lineup, because I'm glad you brought this up. I think the dream best lineup was Nas at the 4, Angel and Akai out there will look good to move Bree Jones next off season. With the development of Okai, the quick development of Okai, I think they possibly can move off of Bree Jones. But I still would want them to have some type of veteran big that's won something, right? I mean, like won something in the W. I think you need, like, this team is very young. I mean, they haven't made it out of the first round of the playoffs. So there's a lot is at stake here for them to not just get to the playoffs. You got to make it out the first round of the playoffs. They didn't make it out the first round with a seemingly loaded team against the Indiana Fever. Now, granted, the Indiana Fever at the end of last year was smoking. Odyssey Sims was on fire. Everybody was turned up. Ariel Powers was on fire. You feel me? Turned up, playing great basketball. Kelsey Mitchell played her way into MVP conversation. AB was AB. You feel me? Lexi and Sophie continue to be the glue that Indiana needs with the energy and the defense, right? And the 3-and-D mindset. So there is a shift that needs to happen pretty quickly in Atlanta. Getting to the playoffs is not enough this year, right? So that's why I have up here the playoff ceiling. what you're saying with the lineup, I think that their lineup is best served, like you're saying, Nas at the 4. I like Nas at the 4 because Nas Hillman can not only, she's big enough to check bigs, but her footwork is quick enough to switch out on the guard, or if somebody want to try to take advantage of her with a pick and roll, is not going to go the way you think. So shout out to Nas. I mean, she is the 6th woman of the year for a reason, and she's played great basketball last year, and I think that's definitely going to roll into this year. That being said, I think having either Angel or Okai out there at the 5 with your with Nas at the 4, and then you're stacking your 3 guards. Obviously, your 3 and your 2 is going to be Howard and Gray, and then your 1, depending on the matchup, depending on who got the high hand, you can either be finishing the game or playing the majority of your minutes with Canada or Pow Pow. It really just depends on the matchup. Now, here's the thing. When they played the Lynx, both of them had trouble again with Courtney Williams and Olivia Miles. So first and foremost, Atlanta, they realized that their call of fame, right? Their biggest glory moment will always be their defense. It will always be their defense. Now, not to mention, they are a high scoring team usually, right? 85, 90, you know what I'm saying? They could put up the points. I'm not worried about scoring when it comes to Atlanta. What you don't want to do is rely on scoring to win you games. You want to score naturally and everybody get the feel of their game naturally. We know Alicia Gray is at this point a 24, 25 point per game player. We know Ryan Howard at this point is a 20, 6 and 6 usually type player. We know Canada is, she can, scoring wise, maybe not so much, right? She could get you 8 to 10 points a game, but what her call of fame is going to be is moving the ball. She wants to make sure she gets at least 7 assists, you know what I'm saying, with minimal turnovers. I would accept 2 turnovers, 7 assists, 2 turnovers from Jordan Canada, especially when she gets deep into the paint. Sometimes she likes to get a little risque, and that's okay. That's absolutely fine. But that being said, defense is going to win the games. And when you go out and get Angel Reese, you're doubling down on defense. That's exactly what you're doing. You're not saying, okay, we love our offense so much that we're going to continue to they could have brought in another scoring big, right? But they brought in the one of the better defenders of this big generation. Absolutely one of the best rebounders of this generation. If not, she's probably going to go down as a historical, top rebounder, right? Obviously she's breaking all type of numbers. So that being said, I mean, I think that Atlanta definitely won with the acquisition of Angel Reese. Absolutely. Shout out to Tessa Love. Welcome back to Her Core, Her Rules, man. Do what she said. Hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe, man. We on the road to 1,000 subscribers. So I appreciate everybody for pulling up, hyping up this video, man, getting into the comments, getting into the live chat, and let me know where you at, man. If you new here, let me know what team you rocking for. What's your squad? We got Dallas Wings fans in the house. We got Mystics fans in the house. Y'all know I'm an Aces fan, Asia fan, Chelsea Gray fan, you feel me? So yeah, let me know where y'all pulling up from, man. So I think overall, if I put it on the scorecard, right? If it's 5 points, 5 being, a perfect fit, 1 being a horrible fit, put the numbers in the chat. What you got? Are we giving Angel Reese 5? Shout out to her jersey, AR 5, right? Are we giving her 5s for this fit in Atlanta? Grading Atlanta Dream with this acquisition. I'm gonna go ahead. Cause see, I gotta lead by example. I'm gonna go ahead and put my 5 in the chat. I think she's gonna grow into a perfect fit. I think her ceiling over her career has always been so high. I think right now, though, with Atlanta, and with the patience that they are allowing Angel to grow into becoming the best version of Angel. See, Chicago didn't have the patience for her. Chicago wanted her to be a 20 and 15 person. Oh, and also I will need you to lead us in assists too. We need you to be LeBron. We need you to be the leader in all statistical categories on this team. Houseway, do you see what's around me? Even if I played a perfect game, there are going to be some things that's left on the board because low key I'm surrounded by not the best talent, right? They were queen of 7-day bangers over there. The hardship contracts, you feel me? So with Atlanta, man, I think that again, if we chop this season up, it's 44 games. If we chop this season up into two halves, right? By game 22, I think we're going to start to see the shift of the better version of Angel Reese offensively, because as we do know, defense is not the issue. Rebounding is not the issue. Hustle is not the issue. Leadership, being vocal in a timeout, huddling up. Like even on the foul, she's the one that's directing the huddle. Hey y'all, come together. We da 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 da. You feel me? So that's the energy that you love to see. So yes, for me, for your lens, for Beyond the Lens TV, for Najah Lee, 5 across the boards when it comes to a perfect fit for Angel Reese in Atlanta. Man, shout out to her. I'm super excited about her future in Atlanta. Now Atlanta, to me, now they got to do what they said they was going to do, right? And what they need to do is get out the first round of the playoffs. Get out the first round of the playoffs, Atlanta. That's your job this year now. Get out the first round. If you can get out the first round here, Angel ain't never even been to the playoffs yet, right? She ain't never sniffed it out. So if you can get out the first round of the playoffs, imagine the type of dog you wake up in somebody who's already a dog. The level of dog now, it just boop 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 boop. It's like we playing Mario. You feel me? I think it's gonna be inside it. Let's get to where she left. Angel Reese obviously was advocating getting out of Chicago last year, right? You know what I mean? She called him out for several reasons. Didn't have enough talent, didn't like what was going on behind the scenes, and she lit him up. Well, you know, they lit her up too. They say, well, you got to go. We ain't going for that. Bet. So now she's in a better place, and what they've attracted to Chicago is a completely different team, essentially. And now this team is led by all-star guard Skylar Diggins. Skylar Diggins had a phenomenal game. Right? Skylar Diggins led the team. Now, if y'all watch this Chicago and Portland game, man, let me go back to the scoreboard here. Hold on. Chicago, Portland. Bam. Chicago Portland game was very, very interesting because I mean it was a pretty tight game, pretty back and forth, close game, really up until like the mid of the fourth quarter, right? Hold on, let me get to this real quick. We talking about Atlanta. Hold on. Atlanta can win a chip with Angel giving you 13, 4 assists, 2 blocks, and 2 steals. Oh yeah. Because guess what? They wasn't getting that with BG. And obviously Angel Reese has much more pep in her step, much quicker, and she can guard multiple positions and cover for people, especially guards when they get beat in a way that BG just couldn't, because she just a little bit slower now, right? So yeah, I think Atlanta winning the championship is gonna come down to not what Angel does, but it's gonna come down to their guard play. I think if their guards get beat by the other team's guards, then they not gonna win. And that's what we seen last year. We saw them, not really have an answer for Kelsey. And although Alicia Gray had her moments and Ryan Howard had her moments, they didn't have enough moments consistently to get them over the hump. There were moments, obviously, in the playoffs where sometimes Ryan Howard can just like can't find a basket, right? And you need everybody to dial in, especially when I don't think Atlanta's bench is going to be that big of a deal. Like, again, they gotta get Bree Jones back, because you get Bree Jones back, then Nas goes back to the bench, and now you have that one to two people between Nas and Pow that can really give you some energy off the bench. Now, when you have Nas in the starting lineup, you lose that piece off the bench, and that might backfire down the road. But again, health is wealth. So if they can walk into the playoffs as their healthiest selves, then they're gonna be a problem. They're gonna be a problem. I mean, Canada is averaging already, what she gave you 6 assists, 4 turnovers, but 6 assists. And Angel Reese gave you 14 rebounds and 11 points. So, if she if Angel Reese does wash, rinse, and repeat just off the last game and not shoot 4 for 11, right? Just let's say the 2 or 3 layups that she missed, if she was 7 for 11 from the field, right? So that gives her another 6 points. So that's 17 points and 14 boards. And that's just being regular old Angel, right? She's going to get more looks in this offense than she's ever seen before. Easier looks, because you have so many more creators, not just one creator. Angel was the main creator in Chicago, which is crazy, right? You have Rachel Banham, but Rachel Banham is not a creator. She's a shooter. So it's going to be I'm very hopeful for her. Like, again, once she get about 15, 20 games in, I think it's going to be easy. We're going to be seeing 17 and 10s, 20 and 12s. You feel me? She gave us 14 boards off being, and not really having a good game, right? 11 points, not really having a good game. She still missed 7 shots. So even if she's making 60% of her shots, right, and still giving us the attack that you're saying on the glass, 12 plus boards on the glass, because that's exactly what she's going to do. 3, 4 assists, 2 blocks. She had 2 blocks and 3 steals last game. I mean, come on, man. That's come on, man. It's gonna be it might get dark for any Atlanta. The East, y'all better tighten up, okay? Because if Atlanta can go on the road and win a game on the road, okay, and really only 2.5 people play well, maybe. I'm sorry to tell y'all. It's gonna be a tight race in the East. Okay. All right. Speaking of the East, man, we got my girl Skylar Diggins, right? Skylar Diggins is the starting point guard, veteran leader for the Sky. Last, when we talked about the Sky and we talked about the impact that Skylar Diggins brings, one of the biggest reasons why I think they got her is to make sure that Cardoso is involved in this game. To get the best out of Cardoso, she needs to be packaged up with the bona fide point guard. A point guard that's number one job is to get Cardoso better looks, right? Get Cardoso closer to the basket, okay? A lot of times last season, we saw her starting her offense way too far from the basket. We need Cardoso in what the NBA would call the dunker spot. We need her around that block area. That's where we need. That's where she's going to thrive. That's where her size is an advantage, because her speed is not. That's where she can finish with the hooks. That's when she has the drop step. That's when her bag starts to come out. But if she's further away, and now she's being put in a position to score, right? And to keep this possession alive, it becomes difficult for her. So with the addition of Skylar can, Skylar's in phenomenal shape. So she can get to her spots. And whether she is looking for her shot, which against Portland, she kind of was. She was like, oh, y'all just gonna get, okay, man, let me go ahead and show y'all that, I can still score though, right? Right? Like I can. They didn't need her to be a big time scorer per se. They probably could have used her in Seattle, but I think Seattle's issues was their coach. It was not the personnel. That team was loaded last year, but that coach was trash, in my opinion, right? But Skylar now, and not to say Tyler Marsh is that much better, but this team is freer, right? This team is playing freer. And we saw that when you look at the starting lineup. They started Gabriella Hawkes, Rakia Jackson, Skylar Diggins, Camilla, and they started Rakia at the 4, actually, though, which was a little wild to me. So they brought E Will off the bench, if I'm not mistaken, and had Rakia out there. But Rakia, you know, is like a big combo guard, for real, for real. She played big all through college practically, and then the moment she got to the W, kind of converted into that small forward. And then, she's such a dynamic offensive weapon and talent, with or without the ball. You can kind of really put her in multiple spots on the floor. That being said, man, it was interesting to see how this offense was working in the beginning of the game. And again, that game it really was tight up until it was a single digit game up until like mid of the fourth. And then Skylar put it on, and then she was able to get other people in the offense and get them easier looks, like Cardoso. So yeah, man, again, the at one point in the game, the Fire trailed by a good amount of points. However, they quickly shot themselves back into the game, man. Bridget Carlton, it was at one point I felt like she just couldn't miss a 3-pointer. I'm like, she was just coming off the screen, yeah, and I was like, yo, that's wow. It was good to see. Megan Gustafson. Is kind of crazy watching Megan Gustafson as an Aces fan not be an ace, but that's crazy. But shout out to her. She made some significant contribution from the 3-point line. She had a couple step back threes, just a couple. Oh, you just gonna drop off, sag off, I'm gonna hit that. So I think, though, with Skylar Diggins, the issue for me when I called the Sky the geriatric crew, it was never the entrance of or introduction to the Sky with Skylar Diggins. Skylar Diggins was never the problem. It's the other, elderly AARP point guards that is not as good as her. Let's just call a spade a spade. Natasha Cloud, shout out to her. She didn't play, but she was on the sideline being the best cheerleader she can be. So shout out to her. She's not as good. I mean, it just is what it is. She's not Skylar Diggins, and nor is Vandersloot. Like, I don't know when Vandersloot is going to be coming back into the offense or to the rotation. I'm sure Natasha Cloud is going to be there the next game. But yeah, like, I just thought that Skylar was able to kind of get what she wanted, and defensively, when it mattered, she was picking pockets. And I mean, she really did play well. Pastor through says Portland is horrible. Sky played well, though. I don't like Rakia at the 4. I don't think she could defend the post, especially the way they officiate in fouls this year. I mean, if they're gonna play her at the post, it would have to be like, again, you can afford to play her at the post against Portland, right? I mean, this Megan Gustafson down there, she's not, a big post player. She would rather shoot the 3. But when you have actual bigs down there, like, let's say it's just the Aces and you got Nalissa down there, or you have Parker Tyus down there or something like that, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. If it's New York and the 4 is Stewie, it's gonna be a size disadvantage when it comes to Rakia, whether that's strength size or whether that's height size. I think Rakia is best served as a small forward, you know what I mean? And if anything, a shooting guard, but definitely not a four-man. But that's Tyler Marsh for you. I think Tyler Marsh is still very much so confused on what his responsibility is, in my opinion. But, that's Tyler Marsh. He ain't my fave. And I thank goodness I ain't no Sky fan because he would drive me crazy. But I think what Skylar Diggins does is Skylar Diggins at the Sky is really, really ironic. I think what she does obviously is she brings that veteran leadership. But I think in moments against better teams, I think her pace might be a concern. Her pace might be a concern against better teams. We saw against Portland that she was kind of going almost a little too fast, right? And then we saw when she played with Seattle, she was all kind of moving a little too slow, like it was too slow of a pace. I don't know if that's because Seattle, what personnel they had on the floor at that time, they was running NECA and Ezzy, like I don't know if that was the issue and just the overall coaching philosophy, which was trash in my opinion. I think that is really we got to see. And again, I don't think that this team is going to win a ton of games. If they won 18, 19, 20 games this year, shout out to them. It will be in they will have improved from last season. But this is not based on what I'm seeing out of playoff team. Now, yes, they are still missing pieces. They're missing Cloud. They're missing Carrington. They're missing Azurá Stevens. When all these pieces come together and when we see what the real Sky looks like with everybody healthy and when having a jersey on, I guess we'll see. But for the Skies organization, they want them to win now, and I still don't think that this team is constructed to do so. Welcome back to Her Core, Her Rules. Shout out to you, man. Welcome back, fam. Peace of freedom to you. I don't think Sloot need to play at all, especially since she's still recovering. That kind of impact she can make for her to think she can come back and take Skylar spot is crazy. I think that I don't know why she didn't retire. I thought getting a tearing your ACL at this big age should have definitely pushed you into retirement. But it's kind of showing that Sloot got an ego, okay? Got a big ego, and you know how that work out. It never bodes well, okay? Jay Davis, I really believe they need a point guard. I thought they needed somebody a little younger to back Skylar up. I don't mind Skylar leading this team. I think that she has the poise. She has the mentality. I think that she has the defense, the energy, and because she has that mid-range game, I think that she can start off leading this team in the right direction. But just like it's kind of like when the Sky had Dana Evans, you remember, they need that spunk off the bench that can be an offensive threat from a point guard position, right? I don't think that they have that. I think Skylar Diggins will have games where she gives us 20 points, right? This game, she gave us 21 points. She was 8 from 12 from the field. She was 2 for 3 from 3. She was 3 for 5 from the free throw line. She had 11 effing rebounds. She had 7 assists and 2 turnovers. 1 steal and 2 blocks. Stat line go crazy. But she was only a +10, which is pretty wild. Pretty wild. They pulled away for real in this fourth quarter, but it was back and forth. This stat line is not going to be a reoccurring stat line, especially with good teams. I don't expect Portland. Portland is the new Connecticut. Portland is not going to be good this year. When you look at their roster, I'm looking at their roster. The biggest name, the most threatening name on their roster is Bridget Carlton. That ain't gonna get you nowhere. Okay. Jay Davis believes the same thing. They think we think that the Sky need the opposite of Skylar Diggins coming off the bench, not just a lesser version of Skylar Diggins coming off the bench. Because rest assured, if I had to pick between Skylar Diggins and Natasha Cloud, I'm picking Skylar Diggins. So if Natasha Cloud doesn't play on the same level of Skylar Diggins, we talking about an all-around game, right? On top of being able to, I don't want Tasha Cloud shooting no threes, or you know what I mean. We saw Tasha Cloud last year in a WNBA All-Star Game skills challenge, and she missed 3 elbow jump shots in a row, missed layups. I not interested in that. Okay. So I think they need the opposite. You know what? If Erin McDonald was healthy, she would be a perfect backup for Skylar Diggins, right? I don't know what, maybe Odyssey Sims declined them. And she was like, no, I'm better off in Dallas. But she would have been the perfect backup to Skylar Diggins. That's just my opinion. If the Sky make the playoffs, they won't. But if they did, it will be because Skylar and Camilla were all-stars and Courtney never graced the court. They would need a third. Rakia will have to be an all-star too. If they made the playoffs, because what it takes to make the playoffs, we have 2 additional teams. Last year, you could make the playoffs a 22-23 win team. How does the Sky get to a 22 and a 23 wins with what this roster looks like? You would need consistent contribution on the offensive end, and you would need it from 3 or more people, right? Because again, Rakia Jackson had 19 points. I expect that. If you have Rakia, Camilla, and Skylar giving you 20 points a game every game, they're gonna make it. But I'm not betting on Skylar Diggins averaging 20 points this season. I can't bet on that. I can't even bet on Camilla averaging 20 points this season. At best, I probably have Camilla 17, 18 points a game. Rakia Jackson, I think she has the biggest plus minus when it comes to what her overall points can be a game consistently. I think Rakia Jackson has the ability to give you 23, 24 points a game just by way of her getting to the free throw line. She shot 10 free throws. And she shot 5 for 14 from the field. She shot poorly from the field. Okay? And she was missing some wide open buck shots that she should definitely make, but she didn't make. So if Rakia shoots better and continues to get to the line all day long, she can give you 23, 24 points a game. When Dejanay and Azare come back, it will cut into the Rakia production. And see, there we go. Because Azare, Azare is a great player, we know. Dejanay is a great player, we know. But in that starting lineup, you need consistent go-getters when it comes to points. You feel me? That's what you need when it comes to points. Hold on, y'all. That's what you need when it comes to points. And them, they got to figure out who that's going to be. I know they want to run everything through Skylar and Camilla, and it works right now. But the longer the more this season matures, teams are going to take away 1 or 2 of those options. Is it going to be Camilla? Camilla is the easier person to take away, in my opinion, because all you got to do is get her away from the basket. And if you can push her off the block, you cut her opportunities to score in half. Camilla shot 8 for 15 from the field, and everything was near the basket. We talking about right near the basket. So if, let's say something happens to the point guard, if 1 or 2 of the point guards, mainly Skylar, if Skylar gets into foul trouble early, or catch a tech early or something like that, and her aggressiveness has to be turned down and dialed down, that's going to disrupt the flow of that offense, specifically as it relates to how we can get Camilla closer to the basket to make scoring easier for her. We saw if she gets pushed off the block, we just saw with Angel in preseason. If she get bodied up, you ain't getting 21 points out of her, right? So something gonna have to give eventually. Shout out to Jeremy, welcome back. Peace and freedom to you. Welcome back to Her Core, Her Rules. The Chicago Sky, if they do not make the playoffs this year, once again, we're gonna see a bunch of names get rotated in and rotated out. We're gonna see it. It will be unfortunate, but it's either names get rotated in and out if they don't make the playoffs, or the coach get fired, right? Because now they can't say this a lack of talent. Once this team becomes fully healthy, you're gonna have talent all up and down. I think what they need to do though, out the gate, is they gotta get Gabriella Hawkins some more looks. She only had 7 attempts, 3 for 7 from the field, perfect from 3-point line. One 3-point shot, she made that. 3 for 4 from the free throw line, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. Gabriella Hawkins has to be more featured into this offense. If they decide to feature Gabriella Hawkins in this offense, similar to Wade Washington features Sonya Citron in that offense, Gabriella Hawkins can be in the running of Rookie of the Year. Mark my words. She had 10 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists on 32 minutes of play on 7 shots, right? So if she can just get more, just 3-point attempts, I think they need to play Rachel Banham less. I'm sorry. I'm not interested in Rachel Banham. I'm not. I don't think she, yes, she has a quick release, but she's a liability on defense. She looks out of shape. I don't know why she played the moments in Unrivaled. And I know why the girls playing Unrivaled. You gotta get your money, girl. Get your money, honey. I ain't never gonna stop a young man from getting a check. But I'm watching her play, and I'm like, is that a roll on the back of her neck? And this ain't no shade, because I ain't trying to shame nobody. But you in the WNBA, I should not be seeing things like that. Okay. Defensively, she can't stay with nobody. So when you got Hawkins, although Hawkins, played 32 minutes, but for real, play at 34, play at 35, right? She wasn't in foul trouble. She had 3 fouls. She walked up the court with 3 fouls, right? Rachel Banham had 15 minutes and had a foul as well. I mean, Hawkins had the second highest plus minus on that team. JC Sheldon played 34 minutes. She had a plus 17. Hawkins played 32 minutes. She was a plus 14. Some way, somehow, we got to figure out, Chicago has to figure out the moments that Skylar Diggins, because Skylar Diggins played 33 minutes, the moments that Skylar Diggins is subbed out, I think Hawkins becomes your backup point guard. You got to put the ball in her hands and let her cook. Shout out to Glorilla. Let her cook. You feel me? To mention, Camila Cardoso only played 25 minutes that game. That just shows me right there out the gate that her conditioning is not ready for WNBA big minutes yet. 25 minutes. Now, in those 25 minutes, she scored 22 points, but she was only a +3, right? So that means she gave up some points too. Okay, she had 22 points and 14 boards. So these are very impactful minutes that she played. Okay, but if she can, in 25 points and 25 minutes, if she can give us 22 points and 14 boards, let's just say she played 30 minutes. What does her averages look like then? Right. So I think that with the leadership of Skylar's gonna force her to run. Oh no, we gone. When you get the rebound, get it out, and we gone. I need you to rim run. I need you to get down that court. Now I've seen Camila hustling down on defense, but I don't see the same hustle going down on offense. So I need her to get down there, use your size, get a seal early, get some easy looks early, get them earlier in the shot clock, right? Make the people foul you, make the people have to force you to pass it out, rotate the ball, repost, get back, get to that other block, get it back again. I need to see the dominance in her size, but I feel like it's just one game, so I ain't gonna overreact. But I feel like the conditioning is just not where it should be, which is crazy because she played this offseason overseas. So one would think that you would be ready to play body wise. You'll be ready to play the start of WNBA season. So we'll see again. Once we get to, same thing that I said to Angel. Shout out to Angel Reese. Same thing I said about her. Once we get to the first half, about the first half of the season, it's 22 games will mark the first half. Once we get to 15, that's almost the end of that first half, we'll be able to really start to track, okay, progress here. Check this box off. Check this box off. Now, what should we be expecting in the second half of the season? It's just game one, still very early. However, put the grade in the chat right now. 5 if you think Chicago won this trade, if they did well, right? 1 to 5. 5 being yes, perfect acquisition with Skylar Diggins. We think that she's definitely going to benefit not only just our point guard play, but getting our bigs, especially motivating Camilla Cardoso. 5 for Skylar Diggins, or 1 if you think that this is not a good look, that they should have went with a much younger guard. What do y'all think? I think after one game, I'm gonna give Skylar or Chicago a 4. I'm gonna give them a 4 after one game. Because I do think Skylar Diggins is gonna definitely benefit this team. I think she's definitely going to impact Camilla Cardoso. Now the question becomes, how many of these 44 games can she play like she played on Saturday? Out of 44 games, we got one game down, so 43 more games. How many more outings do we think that she's going to give us a near triple-double or a double-double? Whether that's in rebounds or assists. She had 21 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists. Okay, 1 steal, 2 blocks. That's a hell of a stat line. But how many times out of 43 do we think that she can even get close to that with a double-double? Not a near triple-double, just with a double-double. 12 and 10 or 12. I think that Skylar Diggins is like in this respect, because he's one of the greatest point guards of all time, I think she's like a Rondo. I think that her upside will always be passing and defense. Scoring will come second. Now, in this offense, I think she has a lot more opportunities to utilize her scoring abilities. But I don't think that's something that we can bank on game in, game out. She ain't SGA. You feel me? Like, right? You know what I mean? What we doing? But shout out to the Sky, man. I think that this year is going to be a much better year for them, for their organization. I think that we should see more wins this year. How many more? I mean, they were the worst team in the league, so maybe 18 to 20 games. I mean, I'm not that hopeful for them in the win-loss column, in my opinion. Y'all let me know what y'all think. How many games y'all think Chicago gonna win this year? Do y'all think Chicago gonna make the playoffs? Healthy roster with the addition of Dejanay Carrington, with the addition of Azare Stevens. Do they make the playoffs? Again, Dejanay stay injured. She be injured every season, so her health is always in question. Azare is a very big piece to this puzzle that we haven't seen yet. So we gotta see it. Azare coming into this offense, or to this lineup with Camilla, and Rakia. You probably don't start probably Hawkes, or you don't start Sheldon. You gotta choose which one you gonna not start. Is it Sheldon or is it Hawkes? I don't know. We gotta figure that out. Or they gotta figure that out. Not me. While y'all here, again, make sure y'all hit that like, hit that subscribe, man. And if you rocking with the convo, definitely hit that subscribe, man. Show your love. I appreciate Appreciate y'all. Let me see. Passing through says Skylar is a 5 out of 5. The best point guard that will come to Chicago. And underline that would come to Chicago, right? Because a lot of people absolutely said we not fooling with Chi-Town, not the city, the organization. I actually like Skylar as a scorer. I think her 3-point shooting actually extends her career and allows her to play shooting guard as well. That's a great take, and I appreciate that. I think that this year is going to be the better version of her offensively because she's in a space where there are playoff she's in a win now mode, right? She's in a win now they're attempting to be a win now team. But if they don't win now and Skylar has a big year, the Chicago Sky organization is still fine, right? They want to just maximize the talent so they can fill these seats up, right? Because when it was coming into this year, you spinning the block with Rachel Bannum, and that's not going to move the needle, nor will it sell tickets. Skylar being her best self, especially playing free offensively, which we saw, right? When we saw that Chicago needed a lift offensively, where they got a little stagnant when Rakia couldn't hit the shots, we saw Skylar saying, I got it, don't worry about it. Boom, boom, boom. And what I can do, because I can get deep enough, because the people respect my mid-range enough, if I do get the one up on you, if I get the step on you, I am going to draw. She does have the ability to draw multiple defenders, right? It ain't like Caitlin Clark or nothing like that, but she can draw that help defense. And when you do that, now she has the vision and the ability to make a strong pass, entry pass to the post, and makes it easier for whatever big that thrives around her, whether that's Camilla, whether that's E. Will, or whether that's Azurá Stevens when she becomes healthy. So I'm grading it a 4 with the potential to be a 5 when this team is healthy. I think when everybody's healthy, I think the Skylar move, regardless of Azurá and Dejanay and Rakia joining, I think the Skylar joining this team is going to matter more than any other name that they could assign this offseason. Now, here's saying, I think Chicago had a really active, a really positive offseason, right? They went out and spent money. And they went out and got pieces that not just were names, but pieces that filled voids on this team. They needed scorers. They needed shooters. They drafted well. Although I still believe that they should have grabbed Flau'jae, at 5, but that's just me. It is what it is. Flau'jae is living her best life in Seattle, right? She's doing what she needs to do, and she's in her right place too. So it all worked out well. But I think they have a great piece with Gabriella, who doesn't really require the ball, but she can still score and she can still get on the and fill up a stat line. Again, in 32 minutes played, she had 10 points. She shot 3 from 7 from the field, 1 for 1 from the 3-point line, 3 for 4 from the free throw line, 7 rebounds and 2 assists and 2 steals. I mean, rookie debut. I mean, damn. Come on. That's a crazy debut. So that stat line is crazy. Again, if they continue to utilize the weapon that is Gabriella Hawkins, she can be in that top 3 mention or consideration of rookie of the year, right? Who are the others? Who are the other rookie of the years potentially? Based off what we've seen so far, this is a sidebar. I'm throwing Gabriella Hawkins in there because she had a great outing, right? And I think that her outing, her threshold is only going to continue to rise and elevate, right? This is game 1 and she shot 3 for 7, and she's a guard with a killer from the 3-point line, on top of her ability to get to the basket. We saw the blow by again with Portland, blew right by her, went to the basket. Hey, finished with the reverse too at that. So we got Olivia Miles is definitely number 1 in rookie of the year conversation early. early of the season, Olivia Miles. I don't even think people are talking about Gabriella Hawkins, but I think by game 15 they will be, right? They will be. And then obviously, notable name is Flau'jae. Now she hasn't had the best shooting yet, but her preseason was pretty good, and I think it's her that ceiling is going to continue to go too. And yeah, I think she's in a great system. And shout out to Coach Ramon. Is it Ramon or Raymond? But she's a great coach. The Seattle's got a good coach on their hands, and Seattle's coach ain't afraid to use the pieces that Noelle, that ain't her name. The Goof Troop, Noelle. Who was that? Wasn't that her last name? I mean first name? Seattle Storm 2025 coach. Everybody was beefing with her. What is her name? Oh yeah, Noelle Quinn. Yeah, that was her name. I think that she didn't have good schemes at all, offensively or defensively. I think that she focused way too much on the defense and nothing on the offense, and she really didn't know how to utilize her personnel. Whereas this new coach, Coach Sonya, man, she definitely know how to utilize the pieces, the very pieces that was just rotting away on the bench. Zaya Cook, you feel me? Lexi Brown had a great game. I mean, a great game, showed out, right? And this is Lexi Brown that ain't really been able to get tick. Y'all know Lexi Brown has been in the league for 9 years, and she ain't really been able to get the tick or the opportunity to really show what she can do. And this coach is like, I'm a play my people, right? I'm gonna play my people. So I like what they doing over there in Seattle, and I think Seattle actually gonna be a sleeper team. Be on the lookout for Seattle. I think Seattle might F around and make the playoffs. I'm not gonna hold you. And if they don't make the playoffs, they're gonna lose. They're gonna miss out by one game. You heard it here first. If they don't make the playoffs, they're gonna miss out by one game. You know what? I don't want y'all to miss out on the opportunity to become a member of the channel. Membership start out as low as $199, man. Grow with us as we continue to provide dope content to the people. I actually have an exclusive members only video dropping this week. It's about how and why I started Her Court, Her Rules, and what it means to be a part of a real community. So I appreciate y'all for supporting the channel. Make sure y'all hit that like and hit that subscribe while y'all here, man. And let's talk about it. One of the biggest off-season names that was that stared us right in the face, okay, was Chennedy Carter. Aces signed Chennedy Carter in the beginning to a training, right? A training. We already knew what. You're not signing her to no dang on train. She on the squad, dog. Stop playing with me. Okay. The biggest question around that was, how does she fit in the locker room? It's always this negative connotation when you talk about Chennedy Carter, right? That's traveled from Atlanta to Chicago to out the league. Now she's back in the league, right? And the question always been, well, how would she fit with the rest of the team? How will she fit? Not her game, she as a person. Becky's talked about how she called Teresa Weatherspoon and said, hey, yo, what's the T? What's the drop on her? You know what I'm saying? Give me the T. What the 411 is, right? Teaspoon said, sign her. Stop playing with me. Sign her. Girl, stop it. Right? I think Teaspoon saw herself in Chennedy Carter. That feistiness, that assertiveness, that refusal to be somebody's puppet, that refusal to be a game to somebody. No, you're gonna take me serious. And I think when you walk around with that energy, right? And a lot of people will see it as more of a masculine energy. When you walk around with that energy, understanding who you are, understanding your power, understanding your value, a lot of people can take offense to that. And sometimes your directness, sometimes the way you say the things can rub people a wrong way. But one thing I know about it, because again, I see myself in Chennedy Carter, right? One thing I know about somebody who knows fully who they are, who knows fully what their worth is, who knows fully their value, and will not allow you to tell them otherwise, they're going to be good regardless. What we do know is that the Las Vegas culture is a culture about embodying your true self. They want you to be who you really are down to the core. They don't want you to change up because that's who we want, and that's why we have you, right? That's why Dana Evans thrives on this team. That's why Nelissa Smith thrives on this team. That's why we were able to reinvent Tip Hayes on this team, right? Because we're able to see you for who you are and maximize that. Shout out to Becky, but also shout out to the leadership. Shout out to the president. Shout out to the CEO. Shout out to the Las Vegas Aces culture that will not allow you again to fold on you. Did y'all watch the Never Fold documentary? This is a perfect segue. Did y'all, if you put it in the chat, if y'all watched the Never Fold documentary? I just finished it today. And boy, I'm probably gonna my next off day, I'm probably gonna watch it again from the top. It was so powerful because it really, to me, when Nelissa Smith said, like, I finally felt that I was of worth. And not only did basketball start to mean something again to me, these people on my team told me that I mattered. When Kirsten Bell said, like, everybody had been saying, now I'm a part of the everybody because I'm not on the KB train. I'm not. But I'm also not a part of the people that was saying that they should be doing awful things to themselves because maybe they don't live up to our expectation. My expectation of you don't mean a damn thing. If you fit well with the team and the coach prefers you, then that's all that matters. But when Kirsten Bell and Nelissa Smith echoed the same sentiments about this team lifted me up at my lowest, and they told me that I mattered. Not I just matter as a player, I matter as a human being. Y'all. And we saw what it did to their game. We saw the threes that Kirsten Bell hit in the finals. We saw the shift from Lloyd going to the bench and Kirsten Bell going to the starting lineup. Imagine Chennedy Carter having that same level of you matter injected into her veins, when all she's been told as a WNBA professional is that you don't matter, right? It's either the GM's telling you you ain't worth it, cut, or you having beef with the coach or the team or whatever the case, cut, can't get a gig. It's crazy. So here we are, right? The defending champs that technically not just gambled on a player, but gambled on a player with bad history in this very league. Can we see the empowerment that's already happened? We saw her introduction to the W again, right? We saw her I need to reintroduce myself. My name is Chennedy Carter. My name is Walking Bucket. My name is Move B. Get out the way. You feel me? Because I'm going right through you type. Chennedy Carter, game one of the Aces, we chalked that up. We got smoked by the Phoenix. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Ring night. I don't never check for nothing on a ring night. I was like, I just hope we don't get beat bad. We gotta be bad. Your mama said, yeah, it was great. If y'all ain't watched Never Fold documentary on the Aces, right there on the Aces channel on Twitter, just what y'all doing? Watch that. It's free. It's on Twitter, man. I mean on YouTube. It's right there. Press play. Shameless plug. So Carter, game one don't matter. Game two, though. Game two. We play the Sparks, and back to back. Game one was on the road. Game one was at home. We got beat bad. 30-point loss. Game two, back to back on the road in LA. Vegas to LA, not a big travel difference, but it is. a distance. It's not at home. And we had to right our wrongs. And we beat LA bad, even though we started off the first half. We went into the halftime. It was a 1-point game, 1-point spread. We beat them. We put up 105 points on LA, and LA is not a bad team. They got personnel in every position, and we beat them bad. Now, remember I said in the preseason, I don't know what Becky is going to do with the starting lineup. I don't know if she's going to go with a 3-guard lineup or maybe a 3-big lineup, right? Stephanie Talbot is not a big, but she plays bigger than her size, and she is much bigger than starting Jewel Lloyd. So they start their big three: Jackie Young, Chelsea Gray, and Asia Wilson. We already know that's the big three. Boom. And then Nalissa Smith fits right into their core four. So now they went from a big three to a core four. Boom. Stephanie Talbot is that big question mark. How does she fit in with the starting five? Well, she did great. 18 minutes. Shared minutes with Brianna Turner. 18 minutes. 8 points, 4 for 5 from the field. And her 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals. Okay, that's welcome to the Aces, baby. Game 1 again. We ain't even counting that, but we go. Here's what we're talking about: Chennedy Carter, because again, the locker room questions were the biggest underline coming into this acquisition. How does she fit with the locker room? Well, looked like she fit pretty damn good. 20 minutes. In those 20 minutes, she got 22 points, 9 for 13 from the field. She missed some wide open threes, and she was still 1 for 3 from the 3-point line. Okay, she missed 2 free throws. She was 3 from 5 from the free throw line. 1 rebound, 2 turnovers, 2 steals. Okay, she had the largest plus minus on this team. She was a plus 28 in her 20 minutes off the bench. Welcome back to Her Core, Her Rules. Peace and freedom to you, Miss D. Shout out to you. And yes, she looks amazing with the Aces. Not just good. Imagine, not only do you have Jewel Lloyd coming off the bench. Last year, we really depended on Jewel Lloyd's offensive contribution, which really didn't show up into the finals. We waited all year, and she made it count in the finals. Who stepped up off that bench was Dana Evans, who became the real spark we needed offensively and defensively off the bench. But now you have a triple-headed sword, double-headed, sure, with Jewel and Dana. And we saw what they did in the finals. But now you have Chennedy Carter. Then when Dana Evans comes back, you have Chennedy and Dana. Okay, so imagine there is going to be a time where finally, Becky will be able to sub out Chelsea Gray, Jackie Young, and Asia Wilson at the same time. That's never happened. Becky has never had the leisure of being able to sub out all 3 of them at the same time. And guess what? Now you can. Because you're going to be subbing in Dana, Chennedy, and Cheyenne Parker Tyus. Dana, Chennedy, and potentially Brianna Turner. Or you could slide Nalissa to the 5, bring Parker Tyus in. You can play 4-5. You can play 2 power forwards, right? You got so many options on this team off the bench that last year what we saw is that those starters, actually the first 2 championships we saw were won solely from their starters. We know that. We've been watching Aces basketball for a long time. Their starters have been everything. And when Kelsey Plum couldn't hit shots, it went all bad. When Tip couldn't hit shots, it was all bad. Now, the first year you had De'Erica Hamby off the bench, right? She did well. Shout out to De'Erica Hamby. We know she is 6th woman in the year, damn near every other season, right? We already know that. Welcome back to Her Core, Her Rules. Okay, appreciate you. Here for you, sister. Salute. Okay, peace and freedom. You doing good? We doing great. I hope you're doing great too. Hope everybody watching here is doing great, doing phenomenal. And if you're not, you will be by the end of this episode. Listen, we have the opportunity to not only rest our starting core, but also gain momentum with the subs. Gain momentum, right? Not lose a beat. Imagine being able to sub, and let's just say you being able to sub Dana, Kennedy, Jewel Lloyd, because Jewel Lloyd was starting at the small forward last year. So let's say you sub all three of them men at the same time. And then Cheyenne Parker Tyus. You know what? Becky might get real sexy about mid-season and might sub all 5 of her starters out. Boom, sub out. Come on. Everybody sub out. Not because they're playing bad, because you have the ability to have a second group coming off your bench that could be a starter for any other team. I will take Dana Evans, Chennedy Carter, Jewel Lloyd, Cheyenne Parker Tyus, and Brianna Turner as a starting 5 over many starting 5s in the league right now. Go to Connecticut. I'll take our 5 off the bench better than that starting 5 over there in Connecticut. Shut your mouth. Better than that starting 5 over in Portland. Absolutely. Better than that starting 5 over there in Toronto. And I love Brittany Sykes and I love Marina Mayberry. But I'll take this one off the bench over a lot of them that's starting right now. Shout out to you. Welcome back to Her Core, Her Rules. Peace and freedom. Sports head BK. You from Brooklyn? Oh yeah, I see that all up and down. I see Syracuse in your thing. I see the Liberty. I see Bulls. You got all your squads in there. Shout out to you. Are you a Knicks fan too? If you a Knicks fan, man, shout out to the Knicks fans of the world, man. Y'all back in the Eastern Conference finals. You know what I'm saying? Y'all didn't waste no time getting rid of Philly. So shout out to y'all. Welcome back to Her Core, Her Rules, Miss Doreen. Peace and freedom to you. Deep bench, very deep bench, right? And Chennedy Carter is the SAK again, Sacktown, the Swiss Army knife coming off that bench. Why? Because she can go up for 30 points off the bench. Becky Hammond, again, if y'all watched the Never Fold documentary, Becky Hammond said, yo, we got Jewel Lloyd coming off the bench and she can give us 35 off the bench, right? Well, we didn't really see that last year, but maybe we'll see it this year. But we know Chennedy Carter can maximize every last minute she plays because you have to respect every ounce of her game. She also had 2 steals, not to mention, y'all. She can pick your pockets. She's lightning fast with the basketball. Not only can she get to the paint whenever she wants, you got to respect her mid-range jumper. And one thing I love about women's basketball is that women's basketball has not gone away from the mid-range, right? Women's basketball, see, when you watch the NBA, all you think is they only got threes and they only got dunks. They don't, you got Shea and you got DeMar DeRozan. You got a couple of people that really take advantage of the mid-range. And DeMar DeRozan, he won 1 or 2 years out the league in a minute. But in the WNBA, women's basketball still appreciate the mid-range game because why? We don't dunk. We ain't got no dunks. So 2 points is 2 points. Whether it's a layup, fadeaway jumper, stop and pop, 2 is 2. 3 is 3, right? I feel like a Dr. Seuss book. You feel me? Kennedy, she is that girl. She is so excited to watch her work. Absolutely. And so when you see her tenaciousness on the offensive side, and then when you see that translate to the defense, imagine your backcourt defensively, because Jewel Lloyd is a sleeper on defense, right? Your backcourt on defense, off the bench, Dana Evans on your point guard, Chennedy Carter on your shooting guard, right? Jewel Lloyd on your small forward, however that works out. Off the bench, Brianna Turner, off the bench, defensive menace. What? You know what? They don't even. Kirsten Bell can go back to, and shout out to her. I've never been a fan of her, and I appreciated her story in the documentary, but it won't make me more of a fan. I'm just gonna say it. She can go back to being at the end of the bench now. Now she can go back to being at the end. We don't need to even see her. Just keep the little warm-ups on, baby girl. We don't even need to see you. She played 8 minutes in the blowout win against LA. And even that was too much. She was a +8 in her 8 minutes, so shout out to her. But I don't. First of all, just sidebar with Kirsten Bell. She won't ever wear the right bra. Rule number 1: get a better sports bra. Get the ones that strap you down, baby. It shouldn't look like retribution. What is we doing? That I don't like. So I mean, come on, that was rule number 1. Yeah, KB need to go off the team, and they just keep re-signing her. I mean, again, with the Aces, it's all about culture, and it's all about that locker room vibe. And they kind of hinted towards it in the Neverfold documentary when they said, like, even Kirsten Bell said, she was like, it wasn't like I thought we needed a new people on the team, but something was missing. Something wasn't right in the locker room, right? In 2024 when we lost to the Liberty, it just, Aces fans, we saw it, we was trying, it just wasn't right. I felt like Kelsey had moved on mentally. Tip Hayes, even though she played well to a certain extent, when it mattered most, she went ghost. That's a bar. So, it's going to be interesting to see how this bench continues to support the starting lineup, especially when we have new additions on this bench. And Chennedy Carter is one of the craziest, biggest names that you can. I mean, how good can we get? Yeah, I mean, come on, that ain't fair. That ain't fair. Paige, J.O., etc. love to use the mid range, man. Paige. Let's talk about Paige for a hot second. Sidebar: who watched Dallas Wings versus Indiana Fever? WNBA opening weekend, Saturday. It was a 1:00 game, the first of a doubleheader. Again, I knew I was going to be watching. I wasn't going to miss a minute of that cinema. Listen, I might be a Dallas Wings fan. I don't know if I can say it with my whole chest yet. But if Paige is on the floor, I gotta watch it. I got to watch it. It's a reason why I watched a whole lot of UConn games when Paige was there. And it's a reason why I didn't watch them many when Paige was gone. When she's on the floor, I got to watch what she got going on. Now, last year, that stupid yoga coaching man bun dude, he just used to irk me. So he was real difficult for me to watch them games. This year, I mean, Jose Fernandez, I think he still got a little rust. He's still trying to adjust to the WNBA a little bit coming from college, but it's okay, because he has a much higher upside than the goofy Chris, whatever his last name, that they fired from last year. Okay, he got a much bigger upside. Oh God, oh God, Miss D, oh Lord, Miss D saying what everybody be thinking. Miss D be saying what everybody be thinking. Paige is what Caitlin Clark. She said CC being nice. But I'll say it. Paige is what Caitlin Clark should be. How many of y'all agree? Paige, I listen, all last year I said it on Her Core, Her Rules. I said, before there was Caitlin, there was Paige. Paige is the person that we've been talking about since she was in middle school. Paige is the person that we watched on through YouTube high school clips. Paige is the person that we our heart broke when she tore her ACL. Our hearts sunk to the floor. When she got injured, we got injured, right? Paige was the person that made people be on the fence with UConn. Most people either hate UConn or love UConn. But when Paige was in that jersey, I don't give a damn what they do. I'm watching Paige. I want to see the best for them unless they playing South Carolina. So that's kind of how it was. If you were an LSU fan, it was like, yeah, go Tigers. But Paige out there. So I just want this to be a good game type shit. I think Dallas is going to have a great season again. ESPN predicts them to win 22 games, which is kind of lowballing them for real. I got Dallas. They walked into Indiana, fought it out. He like a street fight. Fought it out and got that game on the road. And they didn't play their cleanest basketball, nor did Indiana. But they got that game on the road. That was Indiana's game to lose. And they lost it because Paige specifically. But Dallas They took that win right out of off their plate. Okay. Dallas, I think, can win. I think they can win 60% of their games. Out of every 10 games, I believe they're going to win 6. And if they do that, they are on the pace to win 28 to 32 games. If they do that, that makes them a top 4 team in the West. And that right there is unheard of, from being the bottom team in the West to being a top 4 team in the West. I know it's crazy to say, but I'm bold enough to say it because the confidence that I have in what I've seen thus far. And they're not even playing their 2026 number 1 draft pick. Didn't I say that? I said the irony of the hype train around Dallas and the stigma around Paige. If they make the playoffs, you know what I mean? Good for them. If they don't, then it's something wrong with Paige. Listen, regardless of all of that, none of this energy is around their number 1 draft pick. And even the coach said, I'll play AZ Fudd. She will be a starter when she's ready. Apparently, he doesn't think she's ready. But again, what did I say just the last episode, 2 episodes ago? Or I think it was the last episode. I said Paige has more rapport with Arike and Isaiah, but mainly Isaiah, right? The rapport that Paige and AZ Fudd had, that's old rapport. That has to be rebuilt in this new system as professionals. And I think she trusts Isaiah more personally on the court, defensively, understanding where she should be, and understanding that Isaiah James is now taking her aggressiveness to another level, right? She's like, I can score too. Y'all forgot it. Y'all forgot I was a beast at NC State. Don't please. Wolfpack gang, where y'all at? Ms. D says she liked the wings. Nice pickup. Lee Rue, Jessica Shepard, Odyssey Sims, and Zaza, they look good. You know what Arike and Paige going to do? We already know what Arike and Paige going to do. And Arike, I think the biggest thing about Arike for me is just like she just got to take better shots than what she did last year. I think she forced a lot of shots last year, which meant she ended up missing a lot of shots last year. She was just inefficient and ineffective on the court in those minutes. So they had to really like sub her out, get Isaiah James in there, and this year we've already seen her taking smarter shots and just trusting Paige more to get her better looks on the court. And when she got, I think she was 8 for 15 that game. I'm pretty sure. And what she got, she was efficient, and that's what we like to see. We like to see an efficient Arike is a dangerous Arike. Passing through says, I think Paige and Caitlin Clark are 2 totally different type of players. I just hope the media stop pushing Caitlin Clark like she the GOAT when she really ranked 24 to 30 in today's league. Oh wow, god dang, y'all cooking Caitlin today. Again, I don't think she the GOAT, but you know what ESPN says? Hold on, because let me let y'all know I'm not making this up. ESPN says, as soon as it get me back to the homepage, hold on. ESPN says in early MVP odds, Asia is favored for her 5th MVP. Wow, Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckers will be in the race for it. That's what ESPN is saying. So even though Asia has been Asian, Asia's going to continue to be Asian. She's going to continue to dominate. And 4 MVPs have never been heard of. She get 5. I mean, what are we doing? Come on, Asia. Come on, man. What are we? Stop it. Just, can somebody else get some? No. She said no. Nobody else can get nothing. I'm hogging everything. You remember you used to be in the middle school or whatever? Y'all at the little the water fountain. You like, Dad, can save something for the fish. That's what we all asking Asia to save something for the fish. She said, no, I'm not getting you. Have to go to another one. Go to another fountain, dog. But they got early Caitlin Clark and Paige in MVP contention. Paige for sure should be in MVP contention. Caitlin, I don't know. It's more. We got more to talk about. We got more to talk about there. Paige and Enrique and Zaza look great. The chemistry is there. The chemistry underlined. Welcome back to Her Core, Her Rules. Peace and freedom to you, Shamika. The chemistry, man. It's something about it. It's something about it. The trust between Paige and Isaiah James. I mean, they just like this. And then Enrique being that vet just coming in there, and now she's trusting Paige and Isaiah. They look good out there. Odyssey Sims look like a vet. She's so underrated, man. She's a dog. Why do I kept asking? First of all, she on the off season she cooks in Athletes Unlimited, right? She cooks. When she played for LA, she cooked, right? When she played for Indiana, how Indiana just discarded her and moved off of her is crazy because Kelsey played well, but if they didn't have Odyssey Sims. So I'm just glad that it's working out where she's at a team. Again, just like Nalissa Smith said in the Never Fold documentary, when I came to Vegas, they value me. They told me I had worth. They told me I mattered. And they told me that I'm the piece that they need. And I believe that's the same sentiment with Odyssey Sims. She's the piece that they need. She's a vet. She can create her own shot. She's smart. She plays great defense. She has great size, right? She can get on the glass and help with rebounding. Like she can help run that offense alongside Paige. I mean, she's just a perfect fit, man. I love it. 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 Ain't that a song? I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Ms. D, Kelsey AB have a better chance of being MVP than Kayla Clark. Absolutely. Kelsey was in MVP race. She fought herself into being in the MVP race last year. I mean, it didn't matter because unanimously it was always gonna be Asia. But yeah, I completely agree. Maybe they shouldn't have drafted our. Maybe they should have drafted our. Well, didn't we say over here that they needed a big? I mean, yeah, granted they got bigs, but they when you looked at their roster, they was just mad guard heavy. Like on the roster on paper, it looks balanced, but when you see what they play a lot more guards than they play bigs. So I just didn't. I just as long as Maisha Hines Allen isn't there, then it makes sense. Because I that was never gonna work. No. It's unfortunate that Mo Billings is injured because I really want to. I can't wait to see Mo Billings with AB on the court at the same time, getting significant minutes together. That's gonna be exciting to see. But again, I'm not a Fever fan, but I love good basketball. So I like to see when these big names are moved. I want to see how it's gonna fit, and unfortunately, we can't really see how truly the fit of Mo Billings will work or not work in Indiana. I think it will work, just the type of player she is and type of person she is. But I can't wait to see it. Odyssey Natasha Howard should have been signed. Exactly. Natasha Howard being at the Lynx, they need a big. I mean, they needed a guard. Obviously, they needed Olivia Miles, obviously, but they damn sure still need a big. I think the Fever will miss Howard. I think they already miss her. I think they already. One thing about is Howard, she was durable as hell. She was always there, always available. The way she runs the court, her quickness, her ability to score still, at this age. One thing about the WNBA is they showing us that age ain't nothing but a number. And as much as I got on Chicago with all these old players, mainly again to underline is because you have a depth chart of point guards and everybody's 34 and up. It's not I'm a ageist. It's not that you can't be old, getting older or being mature in this league and not impact winning and not impact success on your team. Is that when everybody in one position is the same type of player or around the same age. That's what bothers me. But Natasha Howard, I think, is a great player. I just think that she's not the big that Minnesota needs because her defense lacks. Mo Billings and Hines Allen was not the pieces the Fever should have got. Why Golden State didn't re-sign Mo Billings? That's crazy to me. As good as she played in that system, I don't understand that. That's crazy to me. Golden State shows me that they ain't got much loyalty. They ain't got, because they, Kate Martin, I thought played well in that system as well. I don't know, man. I would hate to be a Golden State Fever, a Golden State Valkyries fan, because you can't get too high on a player. They gonna cut them. It's also surprising that Marta Suarez wasn't signed anywhere. That's surprising. I would have thought that the Lynx would have went on ahead and scooped her up, because they absolutely need a big. I don't know. Who am I? If Phoenix get 30 plus wins, I could see AT winning MVP this year. If Phoenix get 30 plus wins, that would be a feat. Okay? That would be a feat. I think they are still a playoff team. I think they're still one of the top 4 teams in the West. Absolutely. I think AT is deserving of an MVP finally. But again, ESPN they ain't even got her in the conversation yet, which is unfortunate. I like the way the Valks played last night against the Mercury. Yeah, they beat the Mercury up pretty bad last night. And the Mercury beat us up pretty bad the night before. So, you know what I mean? Mercury had one coming. I thank the Valks for going ahead and doing what we couldn't do. Kayla Thornton. But see, the Valkyries' first game, they didn't shoot well, and they shot well this game. The fact that they chose Mo Billings over, they chose Kia Stokes over Mo Billings was a question mark to me. Kia Stokes is a great defender, but obviously what you know what you're not getting from her, anything else. So with Mo Billings, you get kind of like the best of both worlds. Oh, Marta Suarez, thank you for that. Got signed by Phoenix to a developmental slot. Oh, well, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, I like that. Because Natasha Mack, her days are numbered. Her days are numbered. Not because she's doesn't have value. I think that for Phoenix to sustain winning for the long haul, like get those 30, they gonna need some contribution out that paint. They need something from a big perspective, and they really just don't have it right now with Natasha Mack. So I like that. I like that. Once she get a couple more, get in the flow of the offense, learn the offense, learn the type of spacing that AT needs, so she can kind of, pick her spots and pick your spots. It's gonna be nice. But yeah, the Valkyries had a great game. Salon, I'm really high on Salon. I think Salon is a phenomenal player, and when she get cooking, it's over with. Yeah, it's nothing you can do with that. Veronica Burton still hasn't had a really good game yet, but she did have 12 assists, and that's what you want. She had a double, 13 points, 12 assists. Gabby Williams didn't have a great shooting outing her debut, but the second game she shot well again. Gabby Williams is a great scorer. Just she hasn't been able to be a great scorer in the W, but in France, she's a great scorer. Kayla Thornton, we know she's a great scorer. She's a powerful player with that team. So it's gonna be interesting to see how Golden State continues to move the needle for and set the expectations for expansion teams. I don't foresee any of the expansion teams this year, Portland or Toronto, doing anything that Golden State did last year. But what Portland will do and what Toronto will do is they will sell out every game, and they're going to make it very hard and very difficult for you to win on their home court. That's just what it's going to be. Portland has a great fan base when it comes to basketball, and so does Toronto. So both of those places on the road games, those are going to be difficult places to win, but you can win there if you stay locked in. because that arena is going to be loud. They sold out both of their home games, and they're going to continue to do that. Valks need another big if they want to go far in the playoffs. That's why I'm saying, like, if Stokes is in your starting lineup, it's only gonna get you but so far. Stokes should be your backup big, right? Stokes should be giving you the 13 to 17 minutes off the bench to relieve your your main person. But I think that they overplayed their hand with all the trickery with the we gonna draft Flaugier, we gonna swap with Marta, we gonna, you know what I mean? You should have just drafted a big. Should have just drafted the big you wanted in the first round. You had to pick, but you was doing too much. So, it is what it is. Yeah, but long story short is I think that Chennedy Carter is the highest upside with all the picks or all the acquisitions above Angel Reese to Atlanta, above Skylar Diggins in Chicago. I think Chennedy Carter coming off the bench in Las Vegas is going to be the cherry on top, right? I think that she's going to be the cherry on top. And that being said, I think that Vegas won the offseason by the addition of Chennedy Carter alone. On top of, they added Brianna Turner, right? Another great defender. On top of, they added Stephanie Talbot, right? And they drafted well. So, my aces, unfortunately, y'all, no team is safe. So I'm not saying that it's going to be easy, because last year wasn't easy. We had to do the unthinkable. We had to win our last 16 games in a row to even make it, for real. Not to make it, but to get to where we want to be, being that number 1 through number 3 contender or top 3 team in the W. We finished the season at number 2. We had a tough first round, okay, with Seattle. Had to go the full 3. We had a tougher second round with Indiana. And then after that, it was curtain closed against Phoenix. It swept them. Okay, brooms out. So this season, I don't think it's going to go the same way, but I think it's going to have the same results. Aces in the finals. And, we're going to go ahead and take that one again. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to all y'all for pulling up today. It's been a great stream. I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all put who y'all got in the finals in the comments below. Who y'all got in the finals in the comments below. I already told y'all who I got. I got Aces and I got the Liberty. If you have somebody else, let me know. I would love to hear that. Appreciate y'all. I gotta peel all night to watch my Cavs game 4 at home against Detroit. Shout out to Miss D, a Detroit Pistons fan representing D-Town. You feel me? Shout out to Miss D, all my Detroit fans. But this is Cavs State of Mind. I'm a Cleveland girl, you know what I'm saying, through and through. So I appreciate y'all for pulling up. Again, we do this Her Core, Her Rules every Monday and Friday at 6 p.m. So spin a block on me at 6 p.m. on Friday. We're going to do the same thing. Be right here. You feel me? One more comment. Passing through says, I would love Chennedy to change her shot tendency from 4 to 5 to 2 to 3. Her shooting too much could be a problem come to playoffs. I don't want to put a lid on it yet. And I definitely like your point. I see what you're doing. I see where you're going. I want her to get comfortable and and become more confident before we try to reduce it a little bit. She shot efficiently. So if you are efficient in your scoring and you got the shot, take it. One thing about Becky Hammond and her and how she runs her offense is she don't want you thinking. If you see it, if you read it, take it. If it's open, go, right? If you got the shot, shoot it. You feel me? So we need that still have that same fluidity, still have that same confidence, still have that same flow from our starters to our bench. The same type of green light Dana Evans have and Jewel Lloyd has, Chennedy Carter needs to have, right? And you would rather have Chennedy Carter had that light over some of the others, right? Kirsten Bell had a light.
Aaliyah not had a light. That's all I got to say about that. Shout out to y'all. Appreciate y'all, man. I gotta go coach my team from my couch to get this to even up this series. Go Cavs. Go Cavs state of mind. Go Cavs nation. Go WNBA. Shout out to the Aces. Shout out to all y'all for pulling up again today. We be back here Friday at 6 p.m. Let me know who you got in the finals. Write in the comments below if you pulling up on a replay game. I appreciate you. And again, peace and freedom to all y'all. And I'm gonna see y'all on the flip.